Many businesses fail not because of a lack of passion or capability, but because every step is taken without clear direction. Without a specific plan, costs spiral out of control, strategies become misaligned with the market, and opportunities pass by unnoticed. A business plan is not simply a document presenting ideas, but a system of operational guidance, risk forecasting, resource optimization, and a tool to persuade stakeholders. Without it, every decision becomes emotional and prone to collapse. Without clear direction, no matter how great the effort, it is easily wasted. A well-structured plan serves as the foundation for every strategic decision and ensures that every action has a clear destination. This thorough preparation opens up the ability to maintain control, adapt flexibly, and steadily move closer to long-term goals. This is not an advantage, it is a survival requirement for any entrepreneurial journey. So how can one create such a plan in a convincing and practical way? Part 1. Strategic thinking in business planning. No business can thrive without a plan that functions like a strategic nervous system. A plan isn't for show, nor is it just for fundraising. It is a living map, charting the way based on financial data and real market behavior. When you start with expenditure sheets, you identify budget leaks. You don't cut costs out of stinginess, but with lean thinking. Ask yourself, are we wasting money out of payment inertia? This is the time to act, not delay. Restructuring costs means expanding profit margins without increasing revenue. A quality plan does not only analyze what is, but also explores what could be. It challenges you to think differently, viewing internal capabilities, people, expertise, creativity as untapped strategic assets. Don't limit planning to executive meetings. Invite input from operators, couriers, and cleaners alike. Every cost-saving or revenue-generating idea is capital. Build a planning culture as a continuous innovation driver. Business planning is a survival behavior, not a bureaucratic ritual. Part 2. Executive Summary, the Power of Attraction. The executive summary is not an introduction. It is a make-or-break greeting to investors. In just a few lines, you must spark trust, curiosity, and the feeling of "I want to know more" from the reader. It's not merely a summary. It's a compressed version of your business's entire value. If you can't distill the product, market, team, and objectives into 2 pages, then you don't truly understand your business. This is your chance to prove you own the big picture, not just chasing a vague idea. To write an effective executive summary, approach it like a promise. First, clearly present the product or service you offer, what makes it different, practical, and market-ready. Next, outline your customer profile. The more specific, the easier to convince investors you know your target. No one funds someone who doesn't know who they're selling to. Show them you're not guessing, but are strategically positioning. The more specific you are, the more leadership you display. An executive summary must be short, but deep enough to move people. Incorporate the human element and vision into your executive summary. List your core management team, those with experience and execution capability. Then, state your first 3-year financial goals: revenue, costs, projected profit margins. Conclude with an inspiring mission statement, why you're doing this, not just for profit, but to create value. A successful executive summary makes readers want to schedule a meeting immediately. It doesn't sell ideas, it sells belief. Part 3. Company Description. Building Trust Through Clarity. The company description isn't just storytelling, it's a strategic brand identity profile. This is where you prove that your company wasn't formed by chance, but has a clear, legitimate reason to exist in the market. Company name, ownership model, legal structure, all must be consistent and clear. A good plan with a loose company structure will drive investors away instantly. Don't be long-winded. Demonstrate professionalism through precise organization from the first lines. Next is the emotional core. Why did you start this company? No one trusts an organization if the founder lacks passion, deep understanding, and intrinsic motivation. Share your inspiration, the market you identified, and the problem you're determined to solve. Include your founding history, whether new or established. Show clear milestones, development stages, and noteworthy achievements. An experienced investor will look at this section to assess your long-term thinking and genuine commitment. A strong company description must include vision, mission, and goals. Vision is where you're taking the business. Mission is why you exist today. Goals are the milestones for the next 1 to 3 years. Also, clarify your main products, services, target market segment, and your competitive advantages. When done right, a company description doesn't just inform, it allows readers to see the future in the present. Part 4. SWOT, a battle-tested analytical tool. SWOT is not a pretty chart for slides. It's your business's survival analysis. Each element in SWOT is a strategic anchor. Strengths are assets the business owns and can leverage for acceleration: technology, brand, distribution, operations, or a core team. But strengths only matter if actively exploited. Don't just list. Analyze. Show which strengths are delivering results and how you'll amplify them going forward. Weaknesses are sensitive but unavoidable. A credible plan is one that faces reality head-on. Maybe you lack capital, senior talent, or have cumbersome processes. That's okay, as long as you identify them and propose concrete improvements. No investor expects perfection. They expect self-awareness and a plan to patch the gaps. Recognizing weaknesses is the first step to eliminating them. That's real strategic courage. Opportunities are where you unlock growth. Markets shift, technology evolves, consumer behavior changes. These trends aren't for watching, they're for harnessing. Don't list vague opportunities. Identify specifics: which opportunity, how you'll access it, and what edge you have to seize it before others. A concrete action plan for each opportunity separates real builders from mere planners. Opportunities belong to those who are ready. Threats are danger zones if overlooked. Economic shifts, powerful competitors, disruptive tech, regulatory changes. If you don't identify them early, your response will be too late. Effective SWOT analysis doesn't stop at listing threats. You need clear contingency plans. Defense isn't retreat, it's preparation. Businesses don't fail because of risk, they fail from not being ready. Every business plan must answer, if the worst happens, what will we do? Part 5. Management capability, the execution pillar. Planning is a core management skill, not just for setting goals, but for anticipating turbulence. A good operator always asks, if crisis strikes, do we have a plan? A business plan isn't a vague prediction, it's an action map grounded in data. It helps you spot risks early, prepare counter strategies, and stay proactive in any situation. Without a plan, you're defaulting to failure. Businesses survive not from luck, but from better preparation than competitors. Organization and coordination are the operational backbone. You might have a great team, but without clear roles and timely delegation, you'll create overlap and stagnation. Good management is placing the right people in the right roles, maximizing their strengths, and keeping the machine running smoothly. Financial management is the circulatory system. Excess inventory, uncontrolled costs, unstable cash flow. These are collapse formulas. Every dollar spent must aim to generate profit or preserve viability. No business can grow without an ethical foundation. This means transparency in dealings, honesty with shareholders, and social responsibility. Ethics isn't a marketing tactic, it's a sustainable strategy. Alongside this, effective communication is a subtle but powerful weapon. From partner negotiations to internal conflict resolution, leaders must speak at the right time, in the right way, to the right people. Communication isn't just for information, it's for connection and inspiration. Great management steers with both reason and emotion. Part 6. Survival planning, responding to economic volatility. The market is never stable. Volatility is its nature. Thus, a survival strategy is not about waiting for calm seas, but about facing the storm head-on. A survival-minded business will proactively build risk scenarios with action plans for each. Don't wait until crisis hits to plan your escape. This is proactive defense thinking, not passive reaction. A company that survives turbulence doesn't do so because it's big, but because it's fast, flexible, and prepared in advance. Diversification is a core survival strategy. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. An old principle, yet forever valid. You can't rely solely on one product line, one major customer, or one revenue source. A single shock can topple you without a supporting ecosystem. Diversify your assets, revenue streams, markets, and even personnel to create crisis buffers. The more alternatives you have, the less likely you are to be cornered when disruption strikes. Liquidity is the ultimate survival weapon during crisis. A company without cash is like a ship without fuel. It can't operate even if the engine is intact. To maintain cash flow, review all inventory, unused equipment, and unproductive expenses. Cutting back doesn't mean getting poorer. It means enriching yourself from the inside. Every investment and asset should be reassessed in light of new conditions. Survival depends on your ability to convert dormant assets into cash. When the economy dips, your product or service must rise in quality. The higher the perceived value, the stronger your customer retention. Consumers don't want to trade quality for affordability. They want assurance their money delivers more. That's why investing in quality during tough times is a survival strategy. Eliminate excess and focus on delivering an experience that exceeds expectations. Quality is the anchor that keeps your business steady in the storm. Optimizing your workforce is also part of the survival strategy. In crisis, avoid mass layoffs. Instead, shift to flexible models. Freelancers, part-timers, contractors. These reduce benefit costs while maintaining operational resources. Also, don't overlook collective intelligence. Employees are on the front lines. They have practical insight and often surprising solutions. Crisis demands creativity, and creativity often comes from those directly engaged with reality. Part 7. Fundraising strategy, resources, and control. Without capital, a plan is just a dream. But fundraising is not merely about finding money, it's about finding the right money, at the right time, at the right cost. Banks are often hesitant with new businesses due to lack of credit history and collateral. So smart fundraising starts by asking, how much do I need, for what, and how much control am I willing to give up? You must define your non-negotiables. Every dollar you take is a slice of control you share. One worthy source to consider is self-funding. Use your savings, life insurance, valuable assets, even side jobs to pool startup capital. When you invest your own money, you're not just the founder, you're the first investor. That shows complete confidence in your model. If self-funding isn't viable, you can turn to family, friends, or small investor communities, but be clear, they are investors, not donors. Fundraising must be based on trust, not personal ties. When raising at a larger scale, equity funding becomes a strategic choice. This involves trading shares for capital, and it's a structural decision. You're not just raising money, you're redefining ownership. That's why you need to prove your business is compelling enough for others to share in long-term profits. Transparent finances, a persuasive growth model, and a capable team are essential. Equity funding is a long game. You're choosing partners, not just cash providers. No matter what funding source you choose, a business plan only has value if it answers. How much money is needed, for what purpose, and when will it generate profit to repay? Investors don't just ask how much you need, they scrutinize how you'll spend it. Your financial plan must be detailed enough to show cash flow, product life cycle, and return cycles. Without these, you risk not just losing funding, but losing credibility with those who could help your business take off. Control is the soul of fundraising. Don't let desperation for money blur your vision of business sovereignty. Fundraising is inviting others on board, but you must remain the one steering. From the start, define the maximum share you're willing to offer, the decisions you won't forgo, and the level of influence you can tolerate. Capital is the fuel. Control is the wheel. A wise entrepreneur knows that what matters most isn't how much money you have, but how well you stay on course in every condition. Part 8. Entrepreneurial resilience from the core. A plan is not just a work guide, it reflects your leadership mindset. Entrepreneurs with internal strength never act randomly. They plan because they want to control risks, accelerate opportunities, and maintain ownership of the future. Every section of the plan, from finance to market strategy, is a silent declaration. I'm not here to try, I'm here to build. In this brutal world, the best prepared always survive the longest. When a plan is written with genuine heart, it becomes a tool to restore belief. Not just for you, but for everyone following the journey. Your team will work with direction. Investors will place informed bets. You yourself will act with more determination, because every move is pre-lit. A good plan doesn't sit in a drawer. It lives through every decision you make daily. When everyone looks in the same direction, progress multiplies exponentially. The real value of a business plan lies in its ability to create a solid foundation for a future that doesn't yet exist. It shifts you from reactive to proactive. It helps you spot gaps before they appear, identify markets before others do, and know exactly when to accelerate or slow down. A plan can't predict all crises, but it forces you to think one step ahead. In the long game, no one wins by luck. Winners are those who dare to prepare deeper and farther than the rest. Mature business thinking starts when you stop acting on instinct and start acting strategically. Writing a plan is a test of resilience. Do you dare face your limits? Write down what's unclear? Set goals so big they scare even you? Through that process, you're not just building a business, you're reinventing yourself. And that internal transformation is the true engine of every lasting success out there. A business plan is not for those afraid to face reality. It is the rawest reflection of your capability, vision, and limits. No model is sustainable if built on vague ambition, and no amount of cash can rescue a short-term mindset. Don't seek capital if you're unsure whether what you're building deserves to exist. Don't assume the market will be forgiving just because your product looks good or your story is touching. This is a game of cold calculations and unwavering belief. A good plan doesn't need flashy words. It just needs to be realistic enough to act on, bold enough to inspire, and deep enough to weather any shock. A plan won't save your business, but the person who writes it with full intellect and commitment will be the one who survives. Thank you for watching the whole video. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.